Hi, fourth graders. Welcome to week 5 of vocabulary. We have 5 new words for you. And as usual, I'm going to give you a sentence with the words underlined that might help you kind of figure out what these words mean. The first sentence is, the student will distribute the papers. Distribute is our word. So have a think about what it might mean if a student will distribute the papers. Mom put an assortment of cookies in the jar. Assortment. Mom put an assortment. I wonder what assortment could mean. I enjoy reading a book series in sequence. Sequence. Now this word should be familiar because we've been talking about sequence of events. Sequence. We sit around our circular table for dinner. Circular. I have been feeling queasy since breakfast. Queasy. I wonder what that could mean. Let's have a look. So our first word was distribute, and that means to divide between several or many. So we take something and we divide it and give it out between different, several or many people or things. And it's a verb. And remember, a verb is a doing word, so it's an action. It's an action to distribute something. So a sentence we might use with distribute could be, the food bank will distribute donated food to people who need it. So they will divide donated food out between people who need it. Okay, distribute. To divide between several or many. Okay, our next word is assortment. And assortment means a collection of different things or persons. And here you can see we have a picture of an assortment of different types of donuts to help you remember assortment. It's a collection of things that are different. And that's a noun. And remember, noun is naming people, place, or things. It's naming a collection. A collection is a group of things. An assortment is the name of a group of things. So some sentences we might use with the word assortment could be, there was an odd assortment of people at the bus station, or an odd collection of people. There was an assortment of donuts to choose from. Our next word is sequence, and that's talking about the order in which things happen. So I have a picture of a flow chart. So you'd start at the top and say, what happens next in order? Then what happens? If we follow the arrows, this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And in our reading, we've been talking a little bit about sequence of events. How can we tell what happens next? There's an order to the way things happen within stories and within informational text that we have read. And that's a noun. It's naming something to it. It's saying there is a sequence. Some sentences that we might use, we might say, the story followed the sequence of events of our day together. So the story followed the order in which things happened in our day together. Or we followed the sequence of instructions to exit the maze. There was an order of the right way to go to exit the maze, the sequence. Our next word was circular, and that means having the form of a circle. And that's an adjective. It's a describing word. It's describing something that is circular. So remember, our first sentence was about sitting around a circular table. So a table shaped like a circle. The circular saw sliced through the wood with a grinding screech. So a circular saw is a saw that has a blade that is a circle. It spins in a circle. Or if you're cooking, you might say, I stirred the mixture with a circular motion. So I stirred in a circle. Okay. Our final word is queasy, and that means feeling sick to your stomach. And that's another describing word. It's an adjective. So you're describing something. So we might say, if we're using it, I always feel queasy before taking a test. Or after Halloween especially, the thought of eating more candy made me feel queasy. Okay, so those are our 5 words. We have distribute, assortment, sequence, circular, and queasy. So hopefully you will have heard of at least some of those words before anyway. So they'll be familiar to you and how to use them and what they mean. And what you are going to do now is get your vocabulary journal, open it up to that first section with the graphic organizer. By the end of this week, you will have 25 new fourth grade words that you have learned, which is just awesome. And so you are going to put each word in the circle, or the oval really, in the middle of the graphic organizer. And then you are going to, so you've got the word in the middle, distribute. Then you are going to write in the definition, what does distribute mean? Means to divide between several or many. And then use it in a sentence. You could use one of the sentences from the video in the slideshow, or you could make up your own sentence that uses the word distribute. So I've just copied the one here from the video. The food bank will distribute food to people who need it, which means to divide the food up between people who need it. Okay, so do that for all 5 words, please, in your vocab journal today, and that will set you up to be ready to talk about synonyms and antonyms tomorrow. Okay, good job.